The Idea of You is a new romantic film that was released on Amazon over the weekend, but before I get into it, I do want to apologize for the timing of the release of some of these latest videos that I'm putting out because again, I have a new work schedule. Everything kind of shifted for me, but I'm trying to crank these videos out as fast and on time as I can, so please bear with me and thank you so much for bearing with me. But as for The Idea of You, let's review. Hey, that rhymed. So The Idea of You is about Solene. She is a single parent who got divorced a couple of years ago. She takes her teenage daughter to a meet and greet for a boy band she liked when she was younger. Solene ends up in the trailer of the lead singer to use the bathroom, and the two hit it off. They see each other more, and they start a relationship in which he is 16 years younger than her, and she is a 42-year-old woman, and we see how that affects the two of them, as well as the people around him and the media. Now, when I saw the trailer for this film and saw Anne Hathaway in it, I was like, holy shit, Anne Hathaway's in her 40s? Because it seemed like just yesterday, I watched The Princess Diaries for the first time in the theater, and then flash forward a little over 20 years later and seeing her here, and it just clicked on me like, oh wow, Anne Hathaway really is a grown-ass woman. And she was a teenager when I saw her over 20 years ago in The Princess Diaries.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
But regardless, I thought this was a pretty interesting story about a woman in her 40s dating someone who is much, much younger than her. Let's see how that goes and see what they explore. And I really dug this film because they really do explore the relationship. Some people would call this like a romantic comedy or a romantic drama or a dramedy. I think it's kind of like a romantic deconstruction of a relationship because, again, there's a huge age gap between the two of them. She is a single parent, she's recently divorced, and she still, for lack of a better word, has trauma from her last relationship because her ex-husband dated someone that was much, much younger than him, and now here she is in that same predicament. But Solene and Hayes, who is played by Nicholas Galitzine, please forgive me if I mispronounce your name, but the way the two of them came together, it felt believable because the two of them, they met in his trailer and he got interested even to the point where during the concert, he dedicated a song to her. And at first, she's hesitant at first because she thought it was a little bit inappropriate, but then she gives in. The two of them hit it off, but then, of course, the media gets the hold of this, and then we also see how this affects her daughter because Solene and Hayes being together does affect her daughter, and she's still a growing teenager, and she likes boys, but then those boys are like, let your mother know when I turn 18, and it's just like, ooh. And I just like Anne Hathaway's character's arc throughout this film because she was hesitant at first, but then she gives in and she does explore the idea of him. She's a lot more happy, and then she even inspires him because he wants to get out of that teen pop star persona. He wants to be taken a little bit more seriously. And even his arc felt believable. We even see how this affects more of Solene's family, not just the daughter, but apparently the ex-husband, his hypocritical ass, has a problem with him. And when I saw that, I was like, you have no right. Even the ending of this movie felt believable to me because eventually they do have to realize, like, look, we're a lot more happier here, but maybe just not at this very moment. It's just not right. And then we jump forward 5 years later, and then the movie leaves it open-ended. I think my only gripe about this film is, despite the fact that it is kind of a deconstruction of this type of relationship, it does hit all the normal romantic movie notes. But regardless, I really dug this film. I highly recommend it. And this is a nice little film for Anne Hathaway to do because I ain't seen her in anything in years. Now, granted, I know she's still working, but still haven't seen in anything high profile in years. I'm going to give The Idea of You the thumbs up emoji. I think really my only gripe about this film is despite the fact that it is kind of